Okay, sorry about that. I suddenly went off on the other one. Anyway, this is the next video in line. Now, you can the same old thing, include page in navigation menu. That means does the name of the page come up here or not? And display navigation menu. Does it appear in there? I've talked about that in the 06 ones, but I'll do them again when I come to show you how you can use a special navigation page to make your site a bit more compressed, a bit easier to deal with. Because although I love these up here, they're not really changeable. So you don't want like heaps and heaps of them if you've got lots of different pages. It's better to have one page that you click to, and then that page takes you off to another page which has another number of things that you can click on, so people can see the whole layout. If you look at my site and click on tutorials, you'll see that I've got a layout on that which does it. In fact, we might just do that to show you. So I'll open it up in Safari and click on this australianmac.com, and actually it's going to open up not at the front of the site. Oh, it has opened at the front of the site. Click on tutorials before I start talking, and you'll see that there's tutorials there, but all of these, for instance, a desktop tutorial or preferences or sound or any of these, I've displayed on a screenshot, which I think is pretty damn smooth. I've also got GarageBand. If you're watching this not through YouTube, then you will see these ones as well. So for instance, if I go to this one, it's my parrot laughing in the background if you hear that. These tell you what's on this particular page. Now you can have these as links. I haven't made them links. Unfortunately, one of the things that iWeb doesn't do and hasn't been upgraded to do is to have links that are internal to the page itself. You can only go to pages outside of the page. Most other web programs have an anchor point that you can click on this and it would take you down to the film. Well, this doesn't do it. So the only way I can do this, pardon me, as I'm dedicated to showing you what can be done on a Mac, rather than muck around with it, instead of putting anchor links in, which I could have done by changing the HTML, I've just left it as it is, and you can see what's on the page there, and then you go down the page. When you go down, you'll find exactly the same statements here, and then you can play the movie, and I've got them all embedded in YouTube. Okay, welcome to the first tutorial. So there you are. There's me talking again. And that's a really good way if you've got a big movie you want to play, embed it in YouTube, put it up in YouTube, take the embed symbol, put it in there, and that way, although it deteriorates a little bit in quality, that one doesn't look too good, but most of them are really quite playable. Here's an example. That's quite playable. Okay, welcome to number 3 in the iWeb series. And that's not too bad. Now, you can see look at the but it means that you're not paying for the bandwidth and so forth, unless you want really high quality, in which case don't do it. Okay, now let's keep going here. I'll quit that out. Click on this. Pardon me. Okay, so we looked at the page bit. Now look at the layout. Now the top and bottom padding, you can actually have a look at this by going to View, Show Layout, and you'll suddenly see that this is the bit. This bit here, from here to here, is the menu bit. This bit's the top and bottom padding. If you change that to 50 or whatever, that'll move the whole page down a bit. So you've got a bit of padding there. See, that's how welcome's gone down. Whereas if I change that back to 0, you'll see welcome is right at the top. The same thing happens at the bottom. Well, it's identical. Top and bottom has to be the same. The width can be an issue, so you can change that. Give yourself a bit more width. I wouldn't go past 700 because most people, don't forget, there's still a lot of people with small screens. You might be one of them yourself, even if you're on on an older computer. You might be on a small screen, and consequently, if you've got a big width one, unless you've got a mouse that can scroll sideways, you can't see it too easy. Content height, now that's the one you tend to change a lot. You can actually go up to, I've discovered, 3,500, or you could on iWeb 6. I'm not sure if you still can, but I assume you can. if you want to put a lot on one page, and I think that's not such a bad thing to do sometimes. If you want to show a lot, have it all on one page. It'll slowly unfurl itself. The header height, let's try that one. We'll change that to 50, see what happens. Bugger all, by the look of it. Let's have a look at it again. Let's try and change it to 100. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay, so that's the distance between here and there is the header height. Try and keep things out of the header if you can, because it's gone back again a bit. Things don't work all that well when they're stuffed up into the header, but sometimes there have been issues with it. So this is the body of the page from there to there. And then you've got the footer height as well. The footer is this bit down here where you've got, see, made on the Mac. For instance, if I want to put in something, so I want to insert a button, let's say I put in email me, you'll notice it'll come down to the header. If I put in a insert a button hit counter, it comes down to there. I quite like the hit counters. If you want to, by the way, change a hit counter back to 0 again, because you've played with the page and you now want to find out actually how many people have hit on it, all you do is get rid of it, publish, and then insert it again and publish again. And that's all you have to do. So you insert it again, hit publish again, it'll go back to 0. Now, the colour fill, I mean, a lot of this is exactly the same as it was in 6, but you may well be watching this not having played with 6, so rather than having to go through it all, I'm going to go through it again to you. So, okay, with the colour, what have you got? You've got this wonderful thing here, which you click on, and that'll actually pick a colour up for you. Like, say I wanted the colour of this guy's flesh. See how the whole page has changed to his flesh as I clicked on that? But at least it gives me this, which I could then drag down and keep in here. And I can always go back, so I can change it back to white again and say, oh no, I quite like that flesh colour page. And he fades into the background slowly as I do that. Now, that's a real boomer. The other one you can do is gradient fill, and that allows you to do it a different way. Yes, the gradient fill allows you to move colours from one to another. That looks pretty awful the way I've got it there, but you know what you can do. You can click on this and change that colour to something else. Green to skin colour. That's disgusting. I'm afraid I don't have any taste whatsoever when it comes to colour. So okay, look, I better kill this one here, and then we'll go on to the next one in a minute, where we will have a look at a little bit more of the colour fill, and then we'll move on to using the photos.